And there he is.
There he is. Wow.
Hey guys, how you doing? Are you in a shed somewhere, by the way, dude?
It's in my garage, actually. It's in my garage.
Can we ask how many bodies are buried out there?
I live in Newmarket.
You can ask.
I don't live in like a hick town.
Dude, I used to live not far from Newmarket. So I know Newmarket. I mean, I'm a Toronto boy, born and raised, right? I was a Scarborough kid.
Wait.
What?
He's in Newmarket?
Yeah.
Oh my,
go.
You're not that far from me.
I know where you're. Yeah, that's right.
Where am I? I'm not telling you, but I ain't that far from Newmarket.
Okay. I'm originally from Thornhill.
I lived in Thornhill for about 20 years. Will you stop following me?
I'm a huge fan, Ed. Huge.
There's a restraining order going to happen right after this.
Well, thank you guys so much. I have to say, huge fan of you both. You know, Tarzan Dan, I vividly remember you, and I vividly remember you wearing this shirt.
Oh, God. The Rorschach test. That was okay. Can I just say something? And it's very funny that when you live your life on television, and that is one of the things that always seems to come back to haunt me. Because the amazing thing is that was year one of the hit list. After that, Indian Motorcycle gave me all this cool clothes and everything like that to wear, and I looked decent, like presentable. But the first year, I looked like a clown and a cartoon character. And sure enough, that walking Rorschach test shirt, I swear to God, we put it in a bin and set fire to it. And I'm not kidding when I say that, because people were just like, oh, that's so cool. And then when people see it in the old videos, they're like, dude, that's back in. No, it should never come back. Some things should be left in the bin to burn. So there you go. Anyway.
Well, they say fashion is cyclical, but you know what hasn't come back yet? Powdered wigs.
Oh,
powdered wigs? That might be before my time.
Well, it's before everybody's time. That's the point. If fashion is cyclical, why have powdered wigs not come back? I mean, it's an interesting look.
Yeah.
Dan could use one, that's for sure.
Hey with you.
Well, Dan, you used to wear a lot of hats, right? I recall you
wearing here's the thing. So, yeah, I wore a lot of baseball hats, and that was a conscious thing. At the time, back in the day, it wasn't looked down on in a positive way if you had a bald head, because you may be associated with other things that are not good. And so what we ended up doing is having me wear a baseball hat.
Wait, like what I would kind of things would you be associated with?
Mr. Clean.
Why is Mr. Clean a bad thing? Mr. Clean,
no,
have you ever tried those magic erasers? Those things are techno science.
What are they made of? Can we have this conversation? What are magic erasers made of? Because they really are magic, and they will take out anything.
Yeah, it's such an odd texture too. Like it's a micro sponge of some kind, but like it wears down over time, right? Like an eraser. Right?
But it works. I mean, it really works.
They call it magic eraser. You know what it's made of? Magic.
Fair enough.
Magic. There you go. Who knew? I want to say hi to Michelle. She said I was on Kiss 92.5. That's right. Yeah, back in the day. Actually, Roz from 92.5, who does the morning show there, he had a book come out this year, and check the book out if you haven't. And in the book, I got a shout out, and I lost my mind. I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, really? Me? Anyways, those are the kind of the really cool things that happen.
What was the shout out for?
He said that when he was trying to get into radio, he wanted to come up with a cool radio name like Tarzan Dan. And so I just thought that was a really nice shout out.
I think I introduced Roz to his wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at a party for when Rick Campanelli left Much Music. There was a big party, And not because we were glad to see him go, which is,
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, there was like, see ya. So there was a big party, and Rick was invited, and I knew Catherine, and I think I introduced her to Roz, and I think after that the two of them were inseparable.
Wow, that is so cool. See, there's something I didn't know.
Did you make the book, Ed? Did you make the book?
I don't know. I didn't read the damn book.
Well, apparently it's good.
What do I care about Roz's life?
Well, Ed, I must say, I was also a huge fan of you, especially in my adolescent days. You know, Ed's late night party, that was, you know, a young kid's dream. Even after everything was blurred out, you know, City TV was the place for a kid my age to see whatever he could.
We, after a short time, we stopped blurring the bare breasts. We were allowed, because it was after 11:30. It was after the watershed hour, as they call it. Families, you know, if your impressionable kid is up watching this show at 11:30 on Friday, then that's a parenting issue. And so we showed, you know, like it was like the biggest deal. Ooh, titties. Like it was actually a big deal back then to show bare breasts. Now women have gone to court to get the right to walk around with their breasts bared. But back then it was a big deal, and I never understood it. But the thing that I did love is that it was the women in the hot tub who would go bare breasted if they chose to. We never told them to do it. It was like, we never even said you can do this if you want, which put the thought in their head. We never said anything. They just did it. And I loved how the guys who were these strutting peacocks beforehand would get in the hot tub, and the minute they saw titties, they were like,
So, I mean, being a Canadian show, I have some Canadian questions for you, so I hope you don't mind if I ask a few. How do you take your coffees?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
Okay. All right.
You're one of the energy drinks.
The energy? What's your go-to energy drink then?
Blueberry or pomegranate Red Bull. I don't like regular Red Bull. It tastes to me what I imagine semen might taste like. It's just unpleasant.
And on that note, I like coffee.
And you like 2 creams in your coffee, right?
I like 2 creams. I'm not a double guy. I've never been a Tim Hortons guy. I don't know what it is. It's just not, as much as I appreciate Canadiana or Canadiana via the United States at this point. I've never been a double guy, but I like coffee. I'm a huge fan of like macadamia nut coffees and stuff like that, or flavored coffee. I'll go and I'll find the beans, I'll grind them, and then I'll make the coffee in the morning. There's a process to it. I think it's just kind of one of those things. If I haven't cut my arm off with the bean, grinder, then I can probably face the day,
I got to cut in here for a second. Phalanx or Pops said that I have a phalanx in my mouth regularly. I don't know what this person is trying to say. God. I don't have a phalanx in my mouth. Phalanx? Get a dictionary. Phalanx is not something you can put in your mouth.
Oh my God. Spoke, I don't know what a Gretzky is. What is a Gretzky? Oh, I haven't had a Gretzky.
9 sugars, 9 creams.
What?
Which doesn't make sense. It's basically like...
Can you even drive the car after that? Like, seriously?
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah. Anyone who does that, has some serious issues. I have milk in my coffee, and I used to have sugar in my coffee until the doctor said you have too much sugar. So I cut sugar out, and it solved the problem.
Well, here's the thing. Here, let me give you a tip. From a sugar perspective, if you have organic raw sugar that's not refined,
yep,
you can actually have sugar, but you don't have to go overboard. I've never gone overboard.
Can I just point out that this portion of the conversation is boring as shit?
Yes.
Who gives a shit? How we like our coffee? I mean, really, people are watching. You've got an opportunity to talk to the two of us, and you ask us bullshit questions like, what about our coffee? The hell is that?
Hey, this bullshit guy just got some sunglasses, all right?
Woo.
Good
All
for
right.
you.
I got nothing.
Hey, okay, well, what's one of the most Canadian things you own? Like, Ed, I've seen you in some pretty snazzy outfits over the years.
Are you talking about clothing items or just anything?
Anything. What's your most Canadiana thing that you own? Wow, look at all the glasses we're getting.
It's a tough one because when you live in Canada, you're not aware that the stuff around you is Canadiana. It's just stuff around you.
I have an axe on my front deck that I chop wood with. So that's
you
about
do
as Canadian
not.
as yet. Yes, I do.
You chop
You
I'm not
don't
going to go
chop
get it right now.
wood.
But yeah, no, I do. I split. I'll split wood with it. Yeah.
You liar.
You come out and visit me one of these times,
He's in Alberta.
and we'll put you on the stump.
He does things
You'll make me a stump. You've got you chop wood. You're like some mountain man.
Dude, yes. I stack. I get a cord of wood every year. Now you're talking about boring.
Tarzan, I think that you should post a video showing your mad chopping skills.
Bad chopping?
Your mad chopping skills.
Oh, my mad chopping skills. Well, I always buy it split. I don't actually split the wood, but I'll actually chop like pieces off so I can have smaller pieces, so I have something to start the fire with. Anyway,
I want to know the story of Woodstock '99, where you saw. I heard in another interview that you did that you saw the most Canadian thing you did that you saw was when everything was chaos. You saw the Canadians show themselves in the audience, right?
Well, yeah, there were two broadcast platforms, ours and MTV, and we were across the stage from each other, so a little distance. And when everything went to hell, the Americans were going over to the MTV platform and throwing empty water bottles, well, they weren't empty, full of urine and metal tent pegs at the MTV people, whereas the Canadians came and stood around our platform 3 deep to keep people away from us. And that was a very Canadian moment. Also a very Canadian moment, and Dan can relate to this, Canadian media moment, is when we were finally like evacuated from the tower and taken to the secure spot in the back where the media was. The management that was there of Much Music told all the VJs to go back to the tower because there was expensive equipment there, to go back and get the expensive equipment, go through the riot and get the VJs. It's like the VJs. We have to go risk our lives to get the expensive equipment for Much Music.
It's called teamwork. It's called teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes.
Where were they? What part of the teamwork were they sitting on their asses? Needless to say, none of us went.
How did the equipment turn out?
I don't give a shit. I don't know to this day.
Well, now I feel like all my questions are stupid because I have Ed the Sock telling me that they are. I
haven't heard them all.
Ed? What are you up to these days? I've seen you hit the streets of Toronto talking about music. How's that show going?
I will tell you, but I've talked enough. I want ask Dan the same question.
Well, I'm also interested in Dan. Dan's got a whole new lease on life. He's got, now that he's not doing on the radio show. Dan, I watched a podcast, or not a podcast. I watched a video of you saying that you're against podcasts, but I think I see a podcast in your future.
Well, it's the fact that I've never been the type of person who enjoyed being interviewed. It's weird. It's like, I'm a demonstrative human being, but at the same time, it drives me crazy talking about myself. Like even these things that are on the wall behind me.
Yeah.
My wife made me put them up because I just was like, okay, well, I've had a really cool career. That's okay. She goes, no, you have to put them up and remember, what kind of impact you've had and remember that that's something that can drive you. And so for me, right now, I got laid off at the radio station I was at a week before Christmas. Thanks, guys. And so,
yeah. By the way, just this is from me and not from Dan. Fuck you.
Well, I think everyone.
Sorry, Dan. Go on.
let's mainstream media has done a lot of screwed up things in the past. I think we can all agree on that.
They don't always make the smartest decisions. But here's the thing. For me, lots of people have reached out. A lot of people in the industry have reached out. And so, and even with Ed, we started this thing called News Nobody Needs. And it's taken on a life of its own. We're only 9, little episodes in. They're 90 seconds long, and we're getting all kinds of views, and people are talking about it. And every time I talk to anybody, whether it's in Canada or the States, somebody seems to have seen them and just think that they're fun and they're kind of throwaway and they put a smile on your face. And that's what, the internet should be for, not for trolls and people who are cranky. And so that was just one of those things. Tomorrow, Blast the Radio in Ottawa, blasttheradio.com. Milkman invited the two of us to come on the show from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. Ottawa time. So I'm getting up early, and Ed's going to join us at 9 o'clock. And it's just it's one of those things where, for me, I from the media perspective of things, something will come up. Something will happen, and it'll be amazing. And it always seems to be the next step. I don't get worried about it, but it does suck to be out of work when you love doing what you do for a living. You really do. Like, I really do. Absolutely. And so it's kind of fun to do these little segments with Ed because of the fact that it keeps the creative juices going. We have great conversations that nobody ever hears that are very funny. And things we can't say on TikTok, and we have to, pull it back a notch or two. But no, it'll come out in the wash eventually. So,
first of all, Dan, was that all comes out in the wash some kind of sock joke?
Maybe we'll find another sock. I don't know. The missing one.
Yeah, you know what?
The matching one.
When Rogers bought City TV and rebranded City TV, and our late night show ended. The guy in charge at the time said that they were going to look for the next Ed the Sock. Well, so far they've had the same success as OJ in finding the real killers. Mostly because neither party actually looked. And as far as things happening for a reason, no, they don't. Things happen, and we give them reasons. Because we are, as humans and as people, we are good at pattern recognition. So things happen, and we say, you know why this happened? Because X, Y, or Z. Things just happen. And then we decide to connect them to things.
I don't know what to say to that. I think we happened because we sought out the creativity side. Anyway.
Why don't I shut the whole thing down? What the hell's the matter?
Yeah, thanks for being the big sunshine that came out of the screen there.
Yeah, the Canadian guy's gonna throw a noose over the rafters there, and that's the end of him. So what am I doing?
Wait a sec, just something completely different. Where'd you get your sweatshirt? Because I saw you. This is how I found you. I saw you do a thing about how Canadians say, yeah, no, for sure, and what it really means. And that had come up in my feed, and then I started following you because I just thought it was so funny, and it was so true. And I didn't know if you made the sweatshirt or if you found it somewhere or whatever, but I had to ask that when I was going to be on.
Yeah, so I actually started an online e-commerce business, and I sell all these very simple Canadian shirts. And all different kinds. I host a section for Canadian creators where I'm able to sell other Canadian creators merchandise. So I'm trying to build an e-commerce site that hosts other creators and Canadian products on the bigger scale of things. So kind of like a full ecosystem, the whole Canadian show with the Canadian brand.
Right. That's cool, man.
Can I just clarify? Because these people are saying that I was such a downer. I'm not saying good things don't happen. Good things obviously do happen. I'm saying that it's not a good thing doesn't necessarily happen because you stepped over a crack in the sidewalk. Good things happen because you make them happen. And bad things happen because people are assholes. But good things happen because you put it out there. And I don't believe this idea that if you put out good vibes, it comes back to you, because I've seen too many assholes prosper and too many good people die like dogs. So, but I believe that if you want good things to happen, there's this old story, okay? Here, let me tell you a joke about a very religious man. And he says to God, God says, you've been very, very religious all this time. I'm going to grant you a wish. What is your wish? He says, I want to win the lottery. God says, okay, that'll happen. So the lottery draw comes and goes. The guy doesn't win. And he says to God, what happened? I thought you said that I was, going to win the lottery. And God said, do me a favor, buy a ticket. So it's like that. You got to show up. You gotta do something. Dan and I are doing this stupid little, oh, there goes my light. Dan and I are doing this stupid little thing, news nobody needs, basically to amuse each other. And Dan says, people in notable places have noticed it. And we didn't set out to set the world on fire with this thing. We just wanted to amuse ourselves. And, it's attracting attention. So just do stuff. Don't expect anything, but do stuff. Do stuff because you love doing it, because doing it makes you feel good. Don't do stuff expecting a reward.
No, I believe that wholeheartedly. And that's kind of been my mantra of doing things. Like, I literally left my full-time job. I'm a professionally commercial producer, video producer. And I left my agency job and just wanted to do something that I really enjoy. And I didn't know if I was going to have lots of followers or, people even be interested in the subject of Canadiana. But I'm enjoying it. I love it. And I wholeheartedly believe that, if you do something you love, it's easy.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
There's this, I know that was rhetorical because I'm going to anyway.
I know.
But there's this little counter above me and Dan's head. Mine says 445. His says 222. What in hell does that even mean?
So on TikTok, you can actually receive gifts from people who are watching. So on mine, people have given like 900 gifts. On Dan's 222, and you got 445, and that works out to be dollars. Not very much, but it's something.
Wait a second. Wait. Dan and I are getting this money?
Yeah. It should be going to your account.
What the hell?
You're welcome.
Are you for real?
We should be doing it live. We should be doing these by ourselves.
What the hell, Dan?
I will like to add also with my show, and I do a trivia every Thursday night. All the gifts that go towards my show go to the Gord Downey and Channing Winjack Fund. So everything's donated.
What a good human. Awesome, man.
That's very good. So cool. All this money's going to me.
Checks in the mail.
I'm in Canadian media. I can't afford to be magnanimous.
That's right. Didn't we say that we get paid in pizza, and that was higher than scale?
Yeah, right. I remember that's above scale. And if you want toppings, only if you're like A-list do you get toppings on the pizza. Just cheese pizza, if as good pay. But if you want toppings, you've really got to bring it.
Well, can I say, please follow me? I tried to get Tarzan Dan. I think the guy that has Tarzan Dan might have died 3 years ago with the name, because I can't reach the guy. And so I had to do at I am Tarzan Dan.
Love it.
And
it works.
And yeah, it works. And then at the Ed underscore the underscore sock. Follow us, because I just cracked 2,000 followers today. I was so happy. I was like happy to.
Well, I think you should do a video of you chopping some wood in Alberta. I think that's what you should do next.
And then you'll feature it as.
I'll feature it
as you can't get more Canadian than this.
Exactly.
Should we be playing?
I will apologize to you if I see that.
I was going to say, should I have like a Nickelback song in the background or something like that?
No.
You don't love Nickelback, Ed?
No. I'll tell you something. I got along very well.
Nickelback.
I got along with Chad Kroger. Or Krager, or however fucking his name, very well. And then I'm starting up a new podcast called The Late Great Ed the Sock. and I'm contacting people that I did interviews with, and I had a good time. And I contacted him basically through his lawyer, who I know, and he never even got back to me. So fuck Nickelback is the short
they might just
version.
have a new album out and are touring and stuff like that. But
they're one of the hardest working bands out there.
I don't give a shit about their excuses. You know, when they were starting out and they needed publicity, sure, yeah, all the time. Hey, talk to Ed. But now they got, and by the way, I like every one of their songs.
We don't have much time left, but I just want to say a quick Chad Kroger story, actually. When Chad and Avril were dating, I worked at a restaurant on King Street called Jacob's Steakhouse. And they came in, and obviously I kind of had the feeling like, you know, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I really just didn't want to like them because they have that persona. You know, you're not supposed to like Nickelback, but you know what? They're one of the hardest working bands out there, and everyone loves one of their tunes. So I didn't want to like Chad. And Chad, I was shucking oysters in the oyster station. Chad Krog came over. He's like, "Is this the oyster shucking station?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're doing a great job. My oysters were perfect." I'm like, all right, damn it, I have to like you. He was really, really nice, and that's my Chad Kroger.
Well, I love Avril.
Get back to you.
I love Avril. I interviewed her before she was anybody, before her album dropped, and I've always loved Avril. I think she's a great person, and if she doesn't respond to my invitation, fuck her too.
Well, and you can have me on. You can have me on your show anytime.
Well, you know what? I might be doing that. The bottom of the barrel might get scraped.
Oh, well,
so kind.
Either way,
you're such a dick.
I hope the audience that's watching, guys, follow Ed the Sock and Tarzan Dan. Guys, honestly, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It was awesome, and again, huge fan, and thank you for that. Thank you for everything you've done for Canadian media. You guys are great personalities, and I really enjoyed this conversation.
Hey, well, you know what? Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for what you're doing, focusing on Canadian media. You know, as a comic, in all seriousness, we need more people doing what you do, which is proudly focusing on things that bind us together as a nation, and that is pop culture. We can usually disagree on politics and things of that nature, but often we can agree on pop culture. It transcends. And, you know, you're focusing on stuff that is Canadian. And for that, I give you credit.
Thanks, Ed. That means a lot to me. I really do appreciate that.
Honored that you asked to have us on, even if he was a cranky bitch today.
I wouldn't go as far as honored. Okay, but whatever.
I am. I got no job.
Pull it back. Well, guys, thank you so much. If you're around, I do, trivia night. Let's see how much you know about Canada.
We should have done a trivia question. We should send you a trivia question. That would be good.
Absolutely.
One for Ed and one for me.
For the future. Well, hopefully we can do some more lives in the future.
That'd be great. Thank you
Seems
again.
like a good idea to me.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. How do I get out of this?
With us.
You just go
hit the X in the top right, I think is what it is.
Oh, the X.
See
okay.
See you guys.
Cheers.
X.
Enjoy that money.
It's not working. It's not working.
I have to manually kick you out.
Kick me out.